This is tutorial 3-2 in GIS Workbook 2. We're going to be learning how to make a dot density map, and we're going to start off by loading our tutorial map. We're going to be showing concentration of rental units compared to population. This would be important if you're looking for what areas maybe need more advertisement for rental units. If you're in an area with low population and a high number of rental units, you're more likely to have a higher number of available rental units rather than a high population area with very few rental units. You're more likely not going to be able to find an available one. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up our census block groups shapefile. We're going to be doing all our work in this tutorial. We're going to go to general, we're going to change it to concentration of rental units. And then we're going to make it visible. It's pretty much the same thing as checking this box over here. Then we're going to get symbology. We're going to hit on quantities and choose dot density. Kind of looks like the chart menu, but a few differences. We're going to click on the renter field, and then we're going to hit this button, gets it over here. It assigns it a random color, normally in a darker hue. You can change the color patterns over here. You can add multiple ones, but the more you add, the more confusing your map will be. So that's why we're just doing the one field. And down here, basically it shows you the min, mean, and max, and dot size and dot value on the bottom. So we're just going to move this over here to where we can see our map. I'm going to click apply, and I'm going to change the color just because it's green on green. So I'm going to choose this and then choose apply. There, much easier to see. Now, as you can see, if you go over here, we can change the dot size. Say I want it to be a 4. They get bigger. And I want each dot to represent, say, maybe 10 rental units instead of 6 rental units. So apply. So they're bigger and there's going to be fewer, but each one equals more. But I'm just going to go back to what the original one was. Now, as you look at the map, the dots in each polygon are scattered around. Each dot doesn't represent the actual location. These are just randomly picked spots. If you go down to the refresh key and keep hitting, look at one dot. Look at this one dot here and keep your eye on it for when I hit the refresh button. It's no longer there. It kind of bounces around. So don't think that the darker areas or where the larger clusters are represents a cluster of rental homes in that area. It doesn't work that way. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back into properties and we're going to discuss some properties for the dots. And here we have some options. We have non-fixed placement and fixed placement. Non-fixed placement will change the location of each dot every time we refresh. A fixed will not let that happen. And then we can use the masking. And we're going to do that because it's pretty neat. We're going to do it to these. Oh, it won't let us do it to the city limits. I don't know why. But we can do it to where maybe that's why it's no longer in the book of how to do it. But say you had lakes on here, you wouldn't want dots to appear on the lake. So what you would do is you would click use masking and exclude dots from these areas, and then you choose lakes. Not sure why they didn't put something like that in this one, because it would be something useful to know. And you can also place dots only in these areas. The city limits might not be a closed polygon. It might be just something that they put together, and it might not be accurate enough to where it'll work with it. So there's ways of getting rid of areas that we aren't interested in or might look odd. Like if there was a lake right here, you wouldn't want dots in it. So you would use the masking feature. And that's it for this tutorial.